Hi, everyone, and welcome to What's the Tea with Gen X, Y, and Z. We are three generations, three perspectives, one cup of truth. So get ready for a refreshing take on hot button topics. We're going to be brewing up a steaming hot take on today's most pressing issues, where we'll dish on everything from social justice to pop culture. With humor, honesty, and maybe even a little healthy debate, we will sip the tea, spill the honest truth, and find common ground across the generational gap. This show is informative, it's insightful, and it is guaranteed to stir the pot. So, hello, you all. I am Dr. Melissa, and I am representing the X Factor.
Hey y'all, I'm Amber, checking in for us millennials.
And I'm Zion, keeping it real for Gen Z.
Amen, amen, amen. So, today's topic is Amber said she was itching for it. She was itching. So that means, she's been ready to dive into this topic. So, Amber, why don't you go ahead and kick it off? What are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about friendships and the expectations around friendships, right? Ooh, juicy, right?
Yeah. Ooh, let me get a sip right quick before we get started. Friendships. Wow. Big word.
Definitely.
Big word. So why don't we just start there?
Right.
Because here's the thing. Because I've been on this earth at least 21 years. Times 2, 3. And I don't think everybody has the same definition of friendships.
Yeah,
right.
And I think that might be part of the problem.
Absolutely.
So why don't we start with that? What does it mean to be a friend? What is friendship to you?
I feel like a friend is that person or people, because it can be multiple individuals, that are in your social circle that you can lean on, talk to, converse with, that's supposed to be there to support you in any endeavor that you have in your life, whether it's good or it's bad. There to lift you up when it's needed. Just to be there without judgment, right?
Ooh.
That's, what I feel.
Ooh, that's a good definition.
That is the friend, right? That's why everybody can't be a friend.
Yeah, okay, amen. What about you, Zion?
You know what? I'm a little, I had to take a little pause on that. No one's ever asked me that question. So I gotta think about that a little bit. But like you said, it's definitely subjective, like most terms are. I would consider a friend, I would feel like the general definition is just someone who you frequently talk to, you share similar interests, and you just have a lot of social interaction, whether that's digital or in person.
Ah.
But then I know me personally, I would obviously resort to the whole, no judgment, someone I can rely on, and someone who can just, you're reliable. So
definitely
support system, all that good stuff.
I was listening to both of you, and I think you gave the schism, the wide range of that word friendship or friend, right? Mm-hmm. And I think, when I think about the word friend, it's sort of like the word love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes it depends on who you're talking to as to how they define that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think with friendship, friends, sometimes for people, it is really just socialization,
right.
being able to have conversation, right. being able to hang out. And then for some people, it's really about holding you down, being there.
Right.
If I was going to answer that for me, I can tell you that my definition of friend is deep, and maybe too deep for most people that I have had interaction with throughout my life that I've tried to call a friend.
Right.
For me, sort of piggybacking on Amber to that point, a friend to me is that person that's there. Right. When I call somebody my friend, and I will tell you, I don't use that word loosely at all. Like some people say we're friends, and I'll say, we're associates, and I'll say they're in my social circle, acquaintances. I'll use a variety. I'll say sister girl. I'll use a bunch of different words.
Sister girls.
I will. I will. If I say you are my friend,
Yes.
There's a whole different set of expectations
Absolutely.
that come with that. And for me, it is about that person that I can count on, that I can rely on. It's about that person who has my best interest
Yeah,
at heart.
definitely.
Yeah, for me.
No,
Right.
For
yeah,
me.
that's 100% right. And I like what you said, where you don't label everybody with that title of a friend, because I've never labeled everyone my friend. Now, when you're in that, when you play a lot of sports and you just are popular, that was, something for me where it just happened by association of playing sports.
Right.
So you are commonly going to have a lot of people running up to you, speaking to you, or, them calling, you your friends or they're your friends, things of that sort. But like, it hits different for me. Like, I can't just call anyone my friend, because my friend I look at ultimately like my family member.
Right.
Ooh.
So, the expectation is definitely different, but I also feel like people don't really understand what the correct definition of a friend really is. To be able to even call individuals their friend, you got to actually know what a friend is so you can actually be a friend, right?
Ooh.
Right. I think everybody has a different variety of what they perceive as a friend. I know initially school growing up is like we were talking about socialization. How many frequent social interactions we have with each other, and if we share similar interests, do we watch the same show? Like you said, that whole association with, are we playing the same sport? So I feel like that is what I initially perceived as a friend, but later on, I feel like once you live life, and then you get all the insecurities, self-conscious, anxiety, all of that. You need a strong support system, sometimes even outside your family.
Yeah.
So I know that has changed for me as well, where now it's like, can I depend on you? Do you have my best interest in mind? So the question I was going to ask is, what do y'all feel like distinguishes a friend from like a best friend?
Ooh, child, let me take that one.
Ooh.
First of all, I'm
that hit
gonna
different, too.
say something that. First of all, I'm gonna say, I try not to lie, but I told a little bit of a lie a little while ago, because I said when I use the word friend, I relegate that to people that I really hold to a different expectation.
Right.
But let me be honest, we use the word loosely. So I've said, oh, that's one of my friends from school. Oh, that's a friend from my old job.
Yeah.
So have I used that term loosely? Yes, I have.
Right.
What I was really meaning is that if I look at you and say you are my friend, if I call you my friend, that means I have put you in a different box, a different category. And so, to one of the things that, when I'm thinking about what you said, and then Zion, to answer your question, because Amber said, I'm not even sure if people know what a friend is, right? Here's the thing. Do we have a responsibility to have that conversation?
Right.
Because oftentimes when I call a person my friend, I have the assumption that they hold the same expectations, the same characteristics, the same quality that I hold. Like, I'm saying, hey, you understand, we're friends. So what that means is we don't talk behind each other's backs. Hello. That means if you got an issue with me, if you're my friend talks to me about it. Not that I'm perfect, not that I get everything right.
Exactly.
Not that you have to agree with everything I do. But my friend will have that conversation with me and not other people. And as a matter of fact, if somebody else tries to have that conversation about me, my friend
should be talking.
My friend would be like, oh, see, no, we can't do that.
Right.
Because for me, that's my definition of friends. I will tell you that if I call you my friend, you're going to have a hard time. I don't want to say never, because never is a big word. You're going to have a hard time finding anybody that can tell you that I've had a conversation about you. You're going to have a hard time. Now, will I come to you? Absolutely. Because I care so much about you that if I think you dead wrong, I'm going to let you know. If somebody else try to say it, I'm like, hey, no, we're good on that. You know, that's my friend. Now, they'll leave and I'll be like, girl, like, what is wrong with you? You are dead wrong.
Right.
I don't have a problem with doing that. So, I don't think we're all clear. I don't think we're all on the same page. And I think we might be holding people to a standard that they didn't realize they were being held to.
Exactly. Yeah. And when you were talking about not talking to your friend about something, that holding them accountable, essentially. And to that, not even just holding them accountable, because if your friend can't hold you accountable, then why are you calling that person your friend, right? But to that is like, don't have hidden animosity towards your friend either. Like, have true support for that individual, because most friend groups, or friends that I see, they are always trying to put their friends with them. They're like, oh, I can't leave my friend behind. Like when I go to the top, I'm gonna take them with me. So like there's no need to have like secret animosity if that's your friend.
Right.
You know? And I feel like, you know, sometimes people are in like slight competition and like, this is my own marathon that I'm running. You got your own marathon you're running. This is not a competition.
Right.
We all trying to be better versions of ourselves. Like you don't need to be in no low key competition with me. The same shoes you walk in, I ain't saying I can walk your shoes. I walk my own shoes.
Right. Exactly.
So, you know.
I 100% agree. I think in the way our methods of formulating friendships are incorrect as a society.
Yes.
I feel like we rely simply on trivial stuff like, oh, we have similar interests. We play basketball.
Right.
You know, maybe we're the same race. Maybe we go to the same school. Maybe we play the video game after school regardless. And then after a while, there becomes more of a moral dilemma, like a clash of principalities. And people have their own principles. So I feel like they don't necessarily always evaluate someone internally. And because of that, there becomes a clash later on when you develop the friendship on external things.
Yeah, or it can be situational, right? You know, sometimes we develop these friends because we might be going through something at that time in our life. Exactly. So that time in your life that you're going through something, that person might be going through that too. And y'all, you know, come together as one and you're like, yeah, this is my best friend, this is my friend. But then as one grow and evolves out of that situation and you got another person stuck, now, like you said, you're clashing. So two different perspectives and views, and now it's like y'all enemies, and it's like, no, there's a such thing called growth.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with it.
So you came together from a shared experience, which is perfectly fine. You come together from a shared experience, but understanding that when that experience shifts or changes, or you pivot, if all we had was that shared experience, if that's all we had, we didn't line up on anything else.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. We have that. When that shifts or changes, it's really difficult to maintain something beyond that.
Exactly.
It's like if you had a relationship that you based solely on external. So in other words, I'm with you, and what I love about you is that you have a six-pack. Oh my God, I'm in love with you. I love your six-pack. What else do you love? Oh, I just love the six-pack. And if that six-pack changes to like a 3-liter, as life tends to do, now all of a sudden, if it's only based on that, not your heart, not your personality, not your humor, none of that. I'm just basing it on that particular thing. Once that's gone, I have nothing. And to that point, that's what I would say. Sometimes when you read in the media and all that stuff, celebrities and all of that, that you've hooked up with somebody who really was attracted to your lifestyle.
Right.
To your money, to your status. Right. Well, if something happens and you no longer have that status, it's like, well, she's gone. Well, she was there for that. Exactly. And you knew that.
Right.
She was there for the Lamborghini.
And just to kind of add on to your
point. Not
point.
the Hyundai. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Just to kind of add on to your point, I think there's always a foundation on how friendships are made. However, I don't think that has to be the sole determinant for a prolonged friendship. You know, for example, I mean, just as human beings, we're constantly evolving. Right. And so no relationship nor friendship should stay stagnant. Correct. So I feel like a lot of times friendships fail or relationships fail because they don't like change. They're not comfortable with change. So you might start noticing differences.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a bad thing, but are you willing to respect people's principles? Are you willing to respect people's boundaries while still enjoying their company? There can be a clash, but it can be a healthy clash. It can be just differences. So.
Amen. Okay, listen. Put a pin right. Stick it right there. We're coming right back to that point. We're going to take a quick commercial break. But I'm telling you, you just opened up a bit of a Pandora's box that I think we can really flesh out a lot of meat on that one. And it's about the ability to be able to shift and change and grow with somebody or not. Yeah. Stay tuned, y'all. Come right back. 30 seconds. We'll see you in a bit.
Catch the wave of success with Standing on Business with Dr. Melissa. Unlock your purpose, align it with your entrepreneurial spirit, and witness your business thrive. This isn't just about authenticity, it's about building a foundation so solid, your business becomes synonymous with profitability. tune in as we delve into marketing strategies that work and create an empire that stands on business. Because when purpose meets strategy, success is inevitable. Standing on Business with Dr. Melissa, where authenticity meets profitability.
Okay, welcome back to What's the Tea with Gen X, Y, and Z. Now, before the break, Zion had taken us into this land,
Mhm.
and it was really about friendships. And really, I think the canvas question is: are friendships able to grow with you, and how do you assess those that aren't?
Right.
Here's what I'm gonna say with that. As the senior sitting at the table, which means I've had a lot more years to have friendships. Here's what I'm gonna say: there's a natural evolution in our lives.
Right.
So who I was in second grade
Right.
is different than who I am in my 50s, right? And I think the problem that happens is too often there are friendships that are not able to take that journey with you.
Right.
Because I say it all the time, you guys, when I deal with my clients, I say, be careful that you assess the people that are holding you hostage to your history.
Yep.
And those that are willing to release you to your destiny.
Right.
And what you will find sometimes is that people want to keep you where they met you.
Right.
Well, this is how we used to be.
Right.
And this is how, girl, you used to always do this. Why are you being different now? Well, because I'm 54 and not 16. That's just saying. Now, to that point, I'm going to tell you, I have a very good friend that I met in the second grade. And she's still my very, very dear friend to this day. Supports any and everything that I do. We don't talk every month. We don't even necessarily talk every 6 months. But whenever we do, what I do know is that she has my best interest at heart.
Right.
What I do know is that she's cheering me from the side and I'm doing the same for her. That's a friendship. As opposed to people that have been in my face over and over and over again, but I promise you, do not care about my next and are not willing to see the evolution. And to your point, Oprah had something out on social media not too long ago where she was talking about her and Gail. And she said, if you have a friend and you see any ounce of jealousy, that's it. The friendship has to end. That person is not your friend. That was severe when she said it. I thought, oh my goodness. And I really had to sit with that. Her premise is anybody, if they're like, girl, okay. Once you see that, Oprah said, that's not your friend. It might be an associate. They might be a sister girl, but that's not, I know, right?
The
But
sister girl is hilarious.
yes, sister girl. But that's not your friend because your friend is pushing you. Even when you say, I don't know if I can do it, your friend is saying, baby, you built for this.
Absolutely.
And there's more you can do.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. I gotta agree with you. I do have a friend of mine that I've actually been friends with since we were in the 4th grade. And me and that individual, like you said, we don't talk every 3 months. We don't talk every 6 months. And I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't even think we talk every 8 or 9 months. But I'm telling you, I can promise you, I'm going to get a message on Messenger or I post a picture of my children. Something I see her, hey, I'm proud of you. You're doing good. I don't have to communicate with her every single day. I don't got to communicate with her every month.
Right.
They're going to show up for you and they're not going to hold that expectation of you having to communicate every day. Because I'm just going to be 100% honest. Life be happening, okay?
Yes.
Amen.
And sometimes I be in my own little bubble and prefer to be in my own bubble and don't want to be bothered. I just want to be in the house with my children and my significant other. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. That doesn't mean that I have I'm mad at anybody.
Right.
Doesn't mean that, we beefing. It doesn't mean anything of that. It's sometimes you got to take a moment and you just got to recalibrate.
Right.
And so much can be happening, going on in your life in that given moment. That don't mean I got to pick up the phone and tell you everything that I got going on because you probably might have your own life stuff going on, right?
Right.
So what I hear you saying is friendship. For some people, their definition of friendship requires this
daily,
consistent thing that you have to do. You didn't call, you didn't do this.
You didn't pull up to my house.
Yeah.
Or you didn't go to all the social gatherings, and I'm just like,
and I can't wait to get to that. But
it's sometimes the expectations be absurd.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, are you even able to live up to these expectations you trying to put on me? Because I mean,
Ooh.
I don't think you can.
Yes. Now, Amber, the sure said a mouthful.
I did.
She
I'm
did.
sorry, y'all.
No, you're good. You was,
She's on fire.
You was cooking. Now, in regards to just friendship dynamics and expectations, before I get to that, I do want to start with the whole. What was the word? What did you say? Sister girl.
Sister girl.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just go ahead and provide a brief story real quick. So I was talking to my fiance the other day, and she got a text, and she was called girly pop.
Girly pop.
Girly pop.
Ooh.
Now I don't know what girly pop mean. If this person, if you watching this, if you know what it means, because I'm talking about you, you let me know later on this week, okay? I don't know what girly pop means. So I
Girly
just want
pop
to throw
is
that out there.
hilarious though.
Nah, what you said was 100% right. I think every friendship has its own dynamic. It's variable. It's unique in its own way. So some friendships do require a lot of socialization. It requires daily communication. However, that's not always the case. That's why I resort more to a personal level. I believe friendships are similar to relationships. And relationships typically, at least this is kind of how I do it, my way of doing it. But typically in relationships, you are attracted to someone. Once you have that initial attraction, they grab your interest.
Right.
However, a personality is what typically develops and maintains that relationship.
I agree.
In the same way, I believe it's with friendship. Friendships, you'll see similar interests. You like similar activities, you like similar characters, you like similar books, whatever. And then through conversations, through your own experiences, are you able to really foster a strong friendship? So I believe a strong foundation of friendship is just understanding. And once you have understanding, then you can kind of be comfortable when someone evolves out their shell. And you can respect that and you uplift and support. So my definition of friendship is someone who not only can we get along and we can hang out, but we can also have a good conversation. You support me, you uplift me, and we do that to each other. So every dynamic's different. I have a guy brother. We talk maybe every 3-4 months. And then when we do talk, it's just a great conversation.
Yeah,
it doesn't require a lot of daily communication because then it's not as authentic.
Exactly.
You know, that's my personal belief. But you know, also to get into that, I did have a question. Almost forgot it. Now I got it. Okay. My question was in regard to just friendship dynamics. Do you believe that every friendship or just every friend group in general, are they supposed to have different roles? Is that your standard? Or do you believe everyone should possess the same qualities?
Ooh.
But if they're possessing the same qualities, why even? That's basically like having the same friend just in different people. Like I believe, and I'm like I can't. I feel like I'm one of a million people. Like I don't think you're gonna ever meet another person like me. So to try to alter myself to be like another individual, I don't think that's authentic. I prefer to have friends that are all different.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, you got those friends where I know I could pick. Is this post that I see? They say you got a friend that's gonna always ride out with you.
Right.
When you call them, they're gonna go and put on that all black.
Right.
Then you got friends that you can drink and brunch with.
Right.
Then if you just want to have a ratchet night out, you got a friend for that. It's like you have a friend for different things or different stages that you might be going through. So having the same friend for everything, I might as well don't have no friends.
It goes against the whole authenticity thing.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The way I would answer your question as well, Zion, is, and then a lot of it piggybacks on you, Amber, it has to do with loving and respecting people for who they are.
Exactly.
So each friend bring to the table something different. Now, there's some core things that I'm going to expect. I'm going to expect loyalty, right? I'm going to expect that. I'm going to expect respect. There are certain things that just I'm going to in everybody.
Of course.
But this is what I've said to people that have been my friends. I am not the friend who's going to remember that this was the anniversary of your third child's recital.
Right.
I'm not the friend that you'll get the little cards from just because.
Right.
I'm not even the friend that's going to answer that phone every time. I tell people, if you got one call, listen, if they pick you up, and first of all, if you're my friend, you didn't get picked up. But if they pick you up and they said, ma'am, sir, you got one call me. Don't call. No. Because I'm not a telephone person, right?
Yeah.
I am that friend, ride or die.
Right.
I'm that friend that you going through something, I'm there however, whenever.
Right.
I'm that friend that's going to push you to your next best. I'm that friend that's going to say to you, sis, this is beneath your status right here, and here's where you go.
Yeah.
I'm that friend. If I go through the door, I'm bringing you with me. I'm that friend. I'm not the friend that will pick up the phone. Not the friend that will talk to you every month or every 5 months.
Yeah.
I'm more pragmatic than that.
Right.
So when I've had people in my life that have held me to that standard, oh, you don't call. Well, first of all, you're asking me to be somebody I'm not. Right. So maybe I'm not really that person for you, because what you're asking me to do is to, don't get me wrong, we negotiate and we compromise in any relationship.
Right.
But if you want somebody that's sitting back, keying on the phone all day, if you really are my friend, you know how busy I am, and you know I don't do that.
Right.
Right? I'm telling you, I just don't. I'm not that person. So to your point with that, Zion, I think friendship is really about allowing people to be who they are,
Right.
and loving and respecting them for who they are.
Right.
And if the way they are, those qualities, those quirks don't line up with you, you don't have to talk behind their backs.
Yeah.
You don't have to ice them out. You can just maybe have the integrity of saying, you know what? We've come to the end of this particular season.
Exactly.
And it's nobody's fault. Sometimes people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Definitely.
And for the season that you're in somebody's life, honor that season.
Right.
When that season is over, you don't have to drag them.
Right.
You don't have to run around and try to recruit other people against them.
Right.
You don't have to do any of that. It's just not cute. It's not
Right.
cute, and it makes you look bad. Just say, we've come to the end of our season as it was.
Right.
Yeah, friendships has expiration dates as well. And just because those friendships expire does not necessarily mean you're beefing with that person, or you go around talking about them to who's willing to listen, because then that means in that season that you were categorized as my friend, you really weren't.
Right.
You showed your true self.
Ooh.
Your whole true self really didn't like me, and you were not for me. So
Right.
how could I even call you my friend if you really weren't for
Right.
me? So,
Right.
people don't allow friendships to grow. You got to be able to either grow with your friend or just not be that individual's friend.
Or grow away.
Exactly.
You just said the word grow, and grow is okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I grow in this direction and you grow in that direction,
okay.
neither one of us is wrong.
Exactly.
It's just that we grew in a different direction, and I can honor and respect the time that we had together. I'm not going to trash you. I'm not going to bash you. I'm not going to drag you. I'm not going to break the code. I'm not doing any of that because there's no reason to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And just to provide some clarity to my previous question, I was thinking about it a little more in depth.
Of course he was.
So, like, the best way I can explain this is just to provide an example. For example, everybody has their own multitude of talents, and not everybody possesses the same talent.
Right.
So, for example, in my friendship, because I do agree, I believe that friendship should be individualistic. In reference to my friendship, I'm more of the counselor. People seek me for advice.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
However, the advice I give is not always the advice I receive, because maybe potentially that's just not their talent. However, like, would you expect a friend to provide advice as well as another friend, while that friend may, know when you're upset and send you a gift? We all have our own acts of service and our own
language.
talents to provide to provide support to our friends.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to, if that person giving advice and they doing something the complete opposite of their advice.
Exactly.
You might not want to take that advice.
Exactly, and that's why I believe there should be a balance of roles. Everybody possess their own innate talents, and people should utilize them accordingly.
Listen, respect the strengths.
Exactly.
If you've got a basketball team, the forward is not the center.
Yep.
Like, if we play our own roles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Provide what we provide, and not feel that that pull or urge, the expectation to be something that I'm not, to respond in a way that is not organic for me. And if I am with you and I constantly feel like I need to tweak and twist and turn, exactly, then it becomes work. Here's what I'm going to say, you guys. This has been so good as we round out. What I'm going to say is this is a big topic. One of the things that we might need to come back to this one, because the more that Zion talks, the more I wondered if, we always talk about the generational perspective. I wonder if there's a gender perspective to friendships and how we categorize it, what women typically need. What women
it
typically
seems like
need.
we're a little bit more sensitive to friendships than men are.
I think our needs are different.
We need to tap into that for sure.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to that, because I do think that there's a something to be said about that. But here's how we're going to end the episode when we talk about friendships. It's a beautiful thing. What I would say is sometimes I think we get hurt because we're not all clear on the expectations. Right. I think sometimes we make assumptions. For people if you're in my life and people that know me, like I'm one of those people, I'm a purist when it comes to loyalty. I'm not mean, but if I find out that you're disloyal, I always often say, if I find out you're talking behind my back, that's the view I'll give you. My back. So that way it's easy for you to do it. You don't have to worry about trying to No, I just give you my back and then you can have at it, right? But we need to have those conversations, you guys, more with people up front, so that we don't hold people responsible for what we needed that they didn't even know that we needed. It's a lot to that. But communication. So you guys, listen, when we're talking about friendship, I would say, let's just make sure that we're all on the same page, right? Okay, you guys. So thank you for joining us for What's the Tea with Gen X, Y, and Z. If you have any questions or you want us to explore anything for future episodes, go ahead and be sure that you email us at the email link below. And until then, let's keep this conversation brewing. We got to ask questions. We got to listen to understand. And we got to acknowledge the unique challenges that each generation faces. And we got to keep looking for common ground, because trust me, it's there. Well, until next time. Let's keep sipping and let's keep talking. Tune in next week for another thought-provoking and entertaining conversation that bridges the generational gap, one cup at a time. Bye-bye.